Hey everybody, looking forward to getting into this tonight with y'all for tomorrow. It's late here, everybody's in bed, so I thought I would do this and get it to you. So I know we're in Mark 14 right now, and it is a very large chapter, 72 verses, and there's a whole lot of information here. And I thought I would share with you just a few verses tonight of something that stood out to me. So we're going to start with verse 3, and it tells about the story about Jesus being anointed at Bethany by a woman named Mary, actually. And so we're going to talk about that and what that means. And then the question for you guys is, what are you doing for Jesus? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'll show you what she did and how and why she did it and what it meant to God. And I just want you guys to know that you can give something valuable to God and to Christ, and you can do things that He finds of value. And that might be hard to believe sometimes because He has everything, but you can. And it's acts of obedience, and it's acts of kindness, and it's acts of love to show your love for Him. So we're going to read this real quick, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it. And hopefully we'll learn something here real quick tonight. So verse 3, and while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, and this is Jesus that's they're talking about, a woman came with an alabaster flask of ointment of pure nard. Now, I don't know exactly what nard is, but it's evidently really good, and it smells good. So it says, very costly. And she broke the flask and poured it over his head. So she poured the whole thing over him and anointed him with oil. And there were some who said to themselves indignantly, they were complaining, why was this ointment wasted like that? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii. So I don't know exactly if this is accurate, but I've heard it many times that denarii is basically a day's wage back then. And so I don't know what that equates to in today's dollars, but I do know it's 300 days wage. So it's almost a year's wage is what it was worth. So I don't know if it was a giant thing or if it was a tiny little thing and really expensive, or she just poured a giant thing on him. It says a flask, so flasks tend not to be that big. So it was very precious and very expensive, and she broke it and poured it over him. A whole year's worth of wages she just poured over him. And so it says here, this money could have been given to the poor. And they scolded her, but Jesus said, leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? For she has done a beautiful thing to me. For you will always have the poor with you. And whenever you want, you can do good for them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She anointed my body beforehand for burial. And that was a ritual back then to anoint with oil. So she had done this in preparation. And I don't even know if she knew that she was doing it. But Jesus said that she had anointed him beforehand for burial. And truly I say to you, this is really cool. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her. So we're fulfilling that prophecy right now by talking about it and by sharing it. And that's pretty cool because it says in the whole world, and here we are many thousands of miles away over on the other side of an ocean, and a couple thousand years later, and we're sharing this story with her, about her. So I think that's pretty cool. And so I just wanted to share with y'all today that she gave something of value to God. And she gave it for no other reason because she loved him. And I'm wondering with you guys, if you think of that you do something either sacrificial with your time or your money or your talents that is purely just to show your love for God. There's no other motive, and not that other things you do, that they're bad motives, but she did this out of love for God, and nothing but love for God and love for Christ. And so what this to me is an example of, sometimes to show our love for God, that we're truly committed sometimes. And that had to be a sacrifice for her. The Bible doesn't say here she was wealthy. And so it says in the verses here that she did all she could, all she had, she did it. And so that was a sacrifice for her, and she did it for him. She did it because she loved him. And Jesus said, she has done a beautiful thing to me. And so I was wondering with you guys, and I'm going to think about this tonight too, tomorrow, if we can do something for Christ, or this week we can do something for Christ, that Christ would say that he or she, that you have done a beautiful thing for him. And so there's a lot in this, but that's what I got out of this that really spoke to me tonight. And the fact that she did this one small thing for God and for Christ on earth, God in man's body. And Jesus said she'll be remembered. And she is, because we're still talking about her. So what you do for God, and what you show him love for him, and you do a sacrifice for him, it'll be remembered and it'll be known, and God will bless it. So that's it. Hope you guys stay safe, and look forward to seeing y'all again soon. Bye.